Hi everyone, maths time. I'm carrying on with our new topic of measuring and length. That's why I've written measuring length on the start of today's video. Hopefully you got on okay with it yesterday. It seems like you're all right with it. People are just easing into it, which is what we need to do. You've all done measuring before, so this is just the next level of it, really. I think we'll be fine. So let's crack on with it today. No flashback today, decided against it. So we've got a couple of little problems and then we can dive right into our power math stuff. So here's the first one, little one for you to have a go at. Three children measured the same toy car. So it's the same. Three children have got the same car. Eva, yes, I love it when Eva's on. Eva, you're in today's maths, brilliant. Eva says that the car is 6 centimeters and 5 millimeters. Okay, that's what she thinks. Dexter says the car is 5 centimeters. There it is. Annie says the car is 4 centimeters and 5 millimeters. And there's Annie's car and ruler as well. So we've got three cars. Each child's measured it with their ruler. And they've all said a different length. So Eva says 6 centimeters, 5 millimeters. Dexter says 5 centimeters. Annie says 4 centimeters, 5 millimeters. Okay, so have a little think. Who do you think has measured that correctly, and can you explain why? What I'm going to tell you as well, there's going to be more about this today. There are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. Okay, so when you look at the ruler, you've obviously got, this is in centimeters, you've got 0 centimeters, 1 centimeter. All these tiny little lines in here are the millimeters, and there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. There are 50 millimeters in 5 centimeters, and so on. Okay, that's just something that we're going to be looking at a little bit more today. Some of you will already know that. Brilliant if you do. And millimeters is mm, centimeters obviously cm. So that's your first one to have a go at. Who is right? Who has measured the car correctly and got the right length of it? Pause me and have a go at that. All right, so we had three cars that were the same, but three children measured them all differently and got different lengths for them. The right answer was Dexter. Dexter was right with 5 centimeters. Eva's done it wrong. She said 6 centimeters and 5 millimeters, which is over here, but she's not measuring it from the right sort of place. Okay, so if what she's done, she started at, for some reason she started at 1.5. Okay, so 1 centimeter, 5 millimeters, and he's gone all the way to 7. So that's not quite right. Dexter said 5 centimeters, which was right. He started at 0 and it goes to 5. Brilliant, spot on. What did Annie do wrong? Oh, Annie started hers not at 0. We had this problem yesterday. You have to start at 0. This extra bit of the ruler doesn't count. So you have to start at 0. So she started it too far up there. So that's the answer. Dexter was right. Well done, Dexter. Okay, another one. This is the second one of our problems before we start some power maths. So Mo and Alex each have a skipping rope. Alex is saying, I have the longest skipping rope. My skipping rope is 2.5 meters long. Okay. Mo says, my skipping rope is the longest because it is 220 centimeters, and 220 centimeters is greater than 2.5 meters. So who's right? Who's got the longest skipping rope? Is it Alex? Is it Mo? You have to think of a reason why. Pause me and have a go at that one now. All right, so who had the longest skipping rope? Alex was saying she had the longest skipping rope because hers was 2.5 meters long. Mo was saying his was the longest skipping rope because his His is 220 centimeters long. So the answer is Alex has the longest skipping rope. The reason why is because 2.5 meters would be 250 centimeters. Okay, so 2 meters, 200, half a meter, 50. So hers is 250 centimeters long. Mo's was only 220. So that means Alex's was the longest. You needed to just remember how many, once again, how many centimeters are in a meter, how many centimeters were in half a meter, and then you had to switch them over a little bit. So if you knew that 2.5 meters was 250 centimeters, Alex's was obviously the longest. Well done if you got that. Right, moving on to some power math style stuff. Okay, more measuring length, all very doable. We're going to be fine. Oh, we've got some creepy crawlies first of all. Brilliant. So 1A, how long are the centipede, this bright green thing up here, and the ants down here? So you have to tell me how long each of them are. This is what we'll do. We'll do that one. We'll do 1A. We'll show you how to do it, and then we'll come back and we'll do 1B. What I've done though for you, if I remember rightly, is, yeah, I've made it a little bit bigger so you can see it a little bit better. So 1A, you're going to do that one first. 1A, you have to tell me how big the centipede is, how long the centipede is, and how long the ant is. There's the ant. Okay, so pause and have a go at that. Centipede and the ant. All right, so you had to find the length of the centipede and the ant. Let's find out how to do it. Well, first of all, you could just look and look very carefully. You have to be exact. You'll notice, though, that the centipede's at the top here, and that one's next to the cm, the centimeters. And then the ant is actually down here with the millimeters, okay? The reason for that is the ant is obviously smaller than 1 centimeter. When something's that small, smaller than a centimeter, we have to measure it in millimeters. So let's have a little look how to do that one. All right, so the centipede, first of all, here it is. And if you measure it from the end to the end, it was exactly 5 centimeters long. Okay, that's what she's saying there. It's 5 centimeters long. You could be very clever and say how many millimeters. It's also 50 millimeters. So 5 centimeters, 50 millimeters long. Oh, this guy's saying what I was saying. This ant is shorter than 1 centimeter. So we're using millimeters for it. And if you look closely, the ant is 7 millimeters long. So those tiny little marks on the ruler in between the centimeters, they are millimeters, and the ant was 7 of them. Let's have a little check back if we can. So we've got, that's where it starts at 0. You've always got to start at 0. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that, yeah, that's where its antennae are. So 7 millimeters. Okay, super. So we got it. And just a reminder, there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter, but the ant was 7 millimeters, 7 mm. Well done if you got both of those. What was it asking us about the worm for 1B? So it tells us the worm is 27 millimeters long. It is, there you go. It was 27 millimeters long. Show this on a ruler. So have a little go at that one. I'm guessing what it means there, because you can't like show me where that would be on a ruler. You know what? Don't worry about that one. I don't get what it means by show this on a ruler. Let's have a look. Okay, so what they've done is they've put it at the beginning. So before, the worm was over here somewhere. What they've done, they've started at the beginning. They put the worm. If you went out and got a worm and put it next to a ruler, that's fine. But what they've done, they've started the worm at 0. and they've shown that it goes to 27 millimeters, which is here. So in between 20, in between 30, at 27 millimeters, that's how long the worm is. Okay, so what they've done, they've taken it from up here where it's quite hard to measure, and they've put it at the beginning at 0 and shown 27 millimeters. That makes sense. Well done, guys. Okay, moving on. We've got some more creepy crawlies. You know what you could do? This is just an extra. I've just made this up now. If you want to go on a bit of a bug hunt today and measure some creepy crawlies, go for it. Why not? That'll be interesting. Take any pictures, send me any pictures of any creatures you found in your garden or on a walk or something. And if you can measure them, even better. There you go. I've just made this a bit science. Sorry, people who don't like creepy crawlies. All right, so we've got a snail. How long is the snail? Just a reminder, these are not to scale in case you thought it was like giant creatures knocking about. How long is the snail in millimeters, mm? There you go. It's showing you there. It's got the lines at the end, so you can measure. It's like VAR on the football. And then we've got grasshopper. Yeah, grasshopper and a ladybird. I almost missed a ladybird there. You have to tell me how long they are as well. What I should have done was make these bigger as well. Hopefully, though, you can see those pretty clearly. And you can have a go at that. Okay. Have a go at that one. Use a ruler to draw a line the same length as each of the insects. Okay, so that's a little extra. You have to measure what they are on here, but then draw a line as well with your ruler, make it a straight, nice line, the same length as the insect. Okay, you can do that as an extra. Have a go at those now, 1 and 2, and I will tell you the answers in a second. Pause the video. Okay, so we had a snail first of all for number 1. You had to tell me how long it was from its tail. Is it a tail? Don't know if snails have tails. It's definitely got antenna though. So from this end to this end, and it's in millimeters. So there's 10, which would be a centimeter, but we've got 10, 11, 12, 13 millimeters for the snail. There we go. Next, we have the grasshopper. From the end to the end, it's dead on. Ooh, tricky. Tricky one for the grass. I didn't realize. That's me not reading the question out properly. The grasshopper is how many centimeters long? So the ruler's in millimeters, and that's what I was going to say then. For the answer, I was going to say, well, it's 30. But what they want is how many centimeters that is. So we'll pause the video again now. Tell me how many centimeters the grasshopper is. All right, so the grasshopper is actually 3 centimeters long. Okay, so it's 30 millimeters, but that is the same as 3 centimeters because there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter. That was my fault a little bit there. You've got to check these questions really carefully. That's a little reminder and a little lesson for when you end up doing your power maths. Please make sure you're reading it carefully and doing either centimeters, millimeters, or meters if there's a meter one as well. It's important because if I'd put 30 centimeters in there, would have got it wrong. There you go. Next one, the ladybird. They do want millimeters, probably because it's so small. So let's have a look. Quite hard because it's small, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 millimeters for the ladybird. 4 millimeters for the ladybird. All right, only a small one. So, yeah, and for B, you could draw a line to go with them. If you did that as well, brilliant, well done. All right, I've got one more question for you before we get on to some power maths. We've got Max. Max has measured the blue line. There it is, look, there's the blue line. He says it's 27 millimeters long. That's the same as the worm. Do you agree? Explain how you could work out the length. All right, so he's saying this blue line here is 27 millimeters long. You have to first of all say, do you agree? Yes or no, it is or it isn't. And then you have to explain how you could work out the length. All right, so pause video and have a go at that one, and then I'll tell you how to do it. All right, so Max measured the blue line. He said it was 27 millimeters long. Do you agree? No, I don't. It's not. Even though, if we look carefully at our millimeters, it does go to the 27. He's not put it at the start, Max. He's not started at 0. You dope. I keep telling people, start at 0. Max hasn't listened. So it's not 27. It can't be because he hasn't started at 0 and it's at 27 here. So that would actually have to move back. How many? 1, 2. Right, so it's got to move back 2 millimeters to start at 0. So in that case, what must that be? It must be 27 subtract 2 millimeters, which would be 25 millimeters. So Max, remember to start at 0. We have to take it back for the extra 2 millimeters. So it'd actually be 25 millimeters. That was the answer for that one. All right, there you go. I didn't need to measure anything. I just counted back. That's what she said. All right, power math time. So next 3 pages in your power math book. Obviously, we missed a few pages out. We're going to come back to that. Don't worry, we will do it at some point, probably after we've done all the measurement stuff. So today, you're on 89, 90, and 91 in your power math book. Have a go at it. Please read it very carefully. You don't want to make any mistakes like I did about millimeters, centimeters, and meters. Please make sure you're putting the right one in. Very important. Also, make sure you remember 10 millimeters in a centimeter, 100 centimeters in a meter. Okay, give yourselves about 20 minutes. If it takes you a little bit less time, brilliant. If it takes you a bit longer, brilliant. Don't worry about it. I will put the answers on Class Dojo as always. Good luck with it, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.